If you would like to join a gaming community where you can meet pros and plebs alike, Gaming Until End is for you. Meet us in our Discord server, links are in the description below. Today we'll be taking a look at how to rank up really fast if you're below gold. So the other day when we were doing placement matches with my friends that were like gold and silver, I realized something about low level players. I realized that they do not flank or they do not know how to deal with flanks. After I realized this, I decided to start playing champions that were able to actually help carry a match, or champions that could flank really easily while being able to escape or have some sort of form of sustain. This allowed me to totally destroy and annihilate the teams that we went against, and it was just myself and one other friend of mine. So we were just in a two-man party. Every time we played a match, even though the enemies had the perfect composition, every single one of them would be standing on point and trying to capture while doing damage. You would see the front line, behind the front line would be the damagers, behind the damagers would be the supports, and behind the supports would be the flanks. And all I really had to do was go around and just start doing damage from behind. Only 1 out of 10 times would the team turn around to face me. And when they did turn around, it was usually not the entire team, just 1 or 2 people. All I had to do was really go behind the wall, and they would just get back to focusing my team. And I just had to come back in, burst them down, and I could just destroy and annihilate the entire enemy team from behind. So there were 3 champions that I decided to play the most, as these were my favorite champions, and I just wanted to have some fun while still being able to know that I'll be able to rank up. The said champions were Buck, because he can jump and he has a lot of sustain if you use the correct legendary card. The next one was Pip, because he has so much movement with his weightless skill, and he also has a lot of sustain with his mega potion, or should I say his healing potion, as mega potion is the legendary card. And the third champion was Skye. This was simply because I was really astounded by the level of inexperience that these players had. So I just decided to pick someone that would just, a troll kind of champion, as I was going to play Smoke Bomb Skye, which I was not able to do in a really long time in competitive. When I played Buck, I made use of the Bulk Up talent in conjunction with Deep Breath, Giga Siphon, Rapid Sustain and Reconstruction, as these cards would work together to increase my sustainability and survivability in the enemy backline. The said cards in my loadout allowed me to have damage reduction after using recovery, gave me lifesteal after using recovery, increased the amount of healing I received while below 50% health, and reduced the cooldown of recovery by 5 seconds. All this put together allowed me to be a real terror in the enemy's backline, as I was able to get in there, burst someone down simply by shooting them, slowing them down with a net and shooting them again. And the recovery cooldown was so low that every time I got damaged, I would just heal back up to full health, as people in lower tiers didn't really buy Cauterize, or they didn't know what it does. If you decide to play Buck while you're in gold or below, and would actually like to flank them, the enemies, what you don't want to do is just jump in wildly and just hope for the best, but you want to do poke damage, or if you see a champion that's alone, or separated from their team, you can take them on in a 1v1, as you have almost double the health that they have and so much burst damage. So once you get in there and do your damage, what you want to do is hit your shots. Work on your aim so that you can be able to hit a lot of your shots, and if it's a fast champion like with good escape such as Genos, or just someone that can move really quickly, you want to use your net to slow them down so that you'll be able to take them down and kill them, and then just rinse and repeat this method. The next champion that I actually played with my friend was Pip. This was due to the fact that he had so much mobility and self-sustain. Pip's mobility comes from his weightless skill, and his survivability comes from his healing potion. When playing Pip, I made use of his Mischief talent and the cards Acumen, From Above, Escape Artist and Sprint. These cards gave me lifesteal against enemies that were affected by my Explosive Flask, they reduced the cooldown of Weightless, they gave me damage reduction during Weightless, and it gave me additional jump speed during Weightless. So it was all focused around Weightless, which was trying to make myself as hard to hit as possible for the enemies. When playing Pip, remember that your explosives or your flasks actually lob. They move in a curve, so higher ground is always the best option for you. When playing on maps such as Stone Keep or Split Stone Quarry, you always need higher ground. In order to get to higher ground, if you're not able to get there with your mount, since they did something with the mounts that prevented them from jumping higher, what you want to do is use your weightless skill to get to higher ground. Since your explosive flask is AoE, you can actually hit multiple targets, but what you want to take out first is the enemy's support. Without a support, they'll be able to do nothing on the front line. You do not even need to go close to the enemies because you're not using a shotgun, but you're using some sort of sci-fi, alien outer space rat raccoon kind of bluish gooish weapon which explodes. If you need to chase down an enemy, you can actually use weightless to get to them much faster, as you can have 50% extra movement speed when using this ability with this sprint card on level 5. So basically what you want to do is you want to look for the enemy support or whatever you want to find, but I prefer prioritizing the support. Take them out. If they try to escape, use your weightless skill to chase them down, and if you get into trouble, use your healing potion to heal yourself back up, and make sure that you hit your shots because your legendary card is dependent upon that. So if you hit about 4 shots, you'll be able to get weightless again and just weightless your way out of there, and enemies will find it very difficult to hit you. And once again, since people in lower tiers do not use cauterize, for some reason you will get the entire 1200 of healing from your healing potion. Don't forget, Pip still has that healing potion, and it can not only be used on himself, it can also be valuable to your teammates. As you can see, I was actually able to heal my teammates up whenever our support was dead or whenever I just needed to give them an extra burst of health, which was able to keep them alive and just make them a bit more comfortable in their own skin without being afraid of being burst down too quickly. So basically you have a damage, a flank and a support all in one. That is what makes Pip so valuable at lower levels. His ultimate is also a game changer, because I was actually able to, or not I myself, but my team and I were actually able to win this game mainly due to my ultimate. Like, the enemies were actually starting to make a comeback, and I just came in with the evil mojo, turned them all into chickens, and we killed them off. We killed one of them off, which pushed them back and actually allowed us to regroup on the point, and we were able to keep them off the point and actually win the game in the end. Well, the final champion that I chose to play, simply because I was just trying to have some fun and just try to be annoying as possible to the enemies, was Skye. The enemies in the lower tiers below gold still did not understand the concept of buying items in the game. Like, none of them bought Illuminate to actually counter me, and I was destroying them as I was playing the most annoying type of Skye, which is Smoke Bomb Skye. I made use of the Smoke Dagger talent for Skye, in conjunction with the Confound, Emergency Exit, Poisoner and Quick Smoker cards for her loadout. The 5th card I left out in all of these other loadouts because they were just filler cards for me really. The cards I had in my loadout allowed me to reduce the cooldown of Poison Bolts, to automatically enter stealth once I reach below 30% health, to reduce the cooldown of Poison Bolts, and to reduce the cooldown of Smokescreen. This allowed me to spam my Smokescreen, as it would already deal 600 initial damage from just throwing it onto someone, and the cooldown in total was reduced to around 2 seconds if you have some of these cards at level 5 such as Poisoner and Quick Smoker. This essentially allowed me to burst down anybody I came into contact with. It meant I could easily kill other flankers, supports, just anybody. Imagine Skye can actually kill Buck now. She can burst Buck down, and the smoke bombs also have an effect on the enemies as it distorts their vision, and not really distorts, but it obstructs their vision as they can't see out of it and will just be shooting blindly unless they use the hit markers to like actually have a general idea of where you are. So basically the whole point of the video was to tell you that if you really want to get out of below gold, what you need to do is pick a champion that can actually be a really good flank. Somebody that has a lot of sustain, good mobility, and just someone that can actually really burst down and come out on top in a 1v1 almost all the time. This can be any one of your favorite champions, but please do not pick a champion that is not meant for the role, because if you pick a frontline and start flanking with them, you will have nobody on the objective to actually absorb damage. So basically, if you want to play flank, please pick pick a flank or just a champion that can actually flank. Someone like Fernando could work out. Another thing is, this video is just to help you. It's just one of the ways that you can actually get out of gold or below. Other ways are actually to improve your aim, to improve your game sense, and to just overall play as a team, as this is a team game. Do not think you're alone. Do not pick a support and start flanking with them, as your front lines will have no one to heal them. Do not pick a front line and start flanking with them, as you will have no one on the objective to absorb the damage. Pick 2 champions in each role and really become exceptional with them. This will allow you to always have someone that you can turn to and always be able to pick what your team needs and not what you want to play. That is the biggest issue, playing what you want to play versus what your team needs. If you follow the tips presented in this video, it will help you become a better player. But there is no better thing to do than practice when it comes to becoming a better player. Just practice, practice, practice and never give up, and you'll become better in no time. Every professional was once a beginner, and that is exactly where I started, and now I'm nearly masters, so you see just how far I have come. I hope you all enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, don't forget to share, leave a like and subscribe to my channel.